In the biggest fight of his life, the one that will define his legacy, Terrence Bud Crawford has made a shocking move. He's locked the doors, shut out the cameras, and with very few exceptions, he has banned everyone from his training camp. Now, obviously, this isn't just about training in private, these are little mind games, right? Like psychological warfare. So, what do we think the master plan he's protecting so fiercely could be? And what does this lockdown tell us about the storm he may be cooking up for Canelo? Or at least think he's cooking up for Canelo. To get why he's gone to such extreme lengths, you have to understand, yo, this is a steep ass hill for Crawford to climb. This isn't just another fight, it is a historic gamble for his legacy against one of the most dominant forces in boxing. Obviously, I'm talking about Canelo. Just a quick reminder, this fight is set to take place September 13th, 2025 at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Obviously, it will also air on Netflix. This fight is definitely a bold move, challenging modern boxing today. Now, Crawford, he is undefeated. He is a multi-division champ, but he is moving up three weight divisions, right? From 154 to 168. And I'll say 154 was a pit stop because he only had one fight there, and that was against Madrimov. Now, he's stepping into the ring with a man who has turned the super middleweight division into his personal fortress. Canelo isn't just the bigger man, he is a master in that domain, right? For the last six years, he's fought at or above that weight, building his body and dismantling his opponents. His greatest weapons are exactly, what this fight seems what makes this fight almost impossible, right? Like, so we know that Canelo has a chin of steel. He has crippling body shots. And I believe Andre Ward calls it immense ring presence. Ward also pointed out that even when Canelo is supposedly resting, he is still controlling the space, making his opponents feel like they can't ever catch a break. This isn't just a classic good little man versus good big man scenario. It's a tactical genius, right? Known for his fluid style against a destructive force known for his power. Now, within boxing history, right? It's full of great fighters who dared to jump up multiple weight divisions and failed, right? Sometimes the power doesn't carry over, or the speed becomes a weakness instead of a strength. Like, okay, legendary trainer, I believe it was Abel Sanchez. He even casted a little bit of doubt on Crawford's chances, said that, without years to properly build into the weight, he risked being slower and letting Canelo run the whole show. This is the massive problem that I feel that Crawford is facing, right? He obviously reinvented himself, right? He has to solve the Canelo puzzle. He has to defy boxing history, and he has to do it all at once within 36 minutes of moving. Okay? So, how does a fighter usually get ready for a mega fight like this, right? Or what they're calling a mega fight? The normal playbook, obviously, is a well oiled publicity machine. It means open media day with cameras everywhere, catching glimpses of shadow boxing and pad work, the usual. It means interviews with sparring partners who give carefully chosen quotes about how sharp that fighter looks. It's designed basically to build hype and sell tickets, right? But when the stakes are this high, the old way isn't just not enough, right? It could be a liability. And I understand that. Every camera flashing, every stray comment, every second of leaked sparring footage is a piece of information for the other side. And Team Canelo, obviously led by Eddie Reynoso, um, he's more than just a trainer. They're elite strategists, right? So they break down opponents with surgical precision, searching for any tiny flaw or pattern they can exploit. So, if you think about it, leaving your camp open is like giving a team of detectives a full tour, I'm saying, of your house right before a high stakes poker game or something like that. But they will pick up on everything. So I completely understand why he's chosen to do it this way. They're looking at everything, how you move, your stamina, which punches are your favorites, and the kind of sparring partners you're using. Like, I believe Jamel Charlo and Hami Munguia had their preparations out in the open. And some even believe they bulked up the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Losing the natural speed that got them where they are. A mistake Canelo masterfully took advantage of. So it's just something that, for Crawford to go down that same road, obviously would be like handing Canelo the blueprint on how to beat him, right? And he can't afford to do that. He can't afford any mistakes, if we're being honest. This is a very unique challenge for Crawford. And that brings us to the lockdown. Crawford's decision to ban almost everyone is not about fear. It's the solution. It's him building a fortress, I guess, where the only things that matter is forging the perfect weapon to beat Canelo. Now, this strategy obviously is built on three things, right? Focus, the psychological edge, and protecting whatever secret game plan that they are apparently coming up with over there. The first thing, obviously, like I said, the total focus is just uninterrupted, right? Like he wants to be uninterrupted to get ready for obviously this huge task that he has in front of him. The jumping through weight classes to fight a legend. A fighter can't just train, right? He has to enter like a state of like almost like recluse. You know what I'm saying? For his dedication. Every ounce of energy has to be aimed at one thing, and that is winning, and he is going to need it. An open camp basically is just full of distractions, handshakes, small talk, all kind of stupid stuff. So stopping a workout to take a picture. Hey, can we get a picture, bud? And answering the same questions over and over and over again. By sealing the doors to the camp, I think he's in Colorado. Crawford gets rid of basically all of the noise, right? Now, there are no workouts for the cameras, and no energy is going to be wasted on anything that doesn't help him achieve his goal of winning. This is going to be critical, especially with the physical changes that he has made to his body. We've discussed this previously, and I will link the other videos to this in the comment section. He has to find the perfect balance between gaining enough mass, I guess, to handle Canelo's power without losing the speed and the slickness that makes him him. It's tricky. Some say it might even be a scientific process. But in the past, Crawford has mentioned that the good thing about him moving up is not having to starve himself, but it creates new, I guess, conditioning challenges that he faces. So this intense focus basically lets him and his team just obsess over every detail, every calorie, every drill, every round, without any outside noise. Supposedly, it's not about hiding, it's just basically about concentrating all of his power. The second one, which is pure psychological warfare, and we've discussed this, right? Like in boxing, the mind games start way before the first bell. right? By working in total seclusion, like secrecy, Crawford is trying to plant little seeds of doubt in Canelo's mind. Oh, what's he working on? Did he figure, how to carry his weight up to 168? Does he know like a counter for Canelo's left hook to the body? So the unknown is a powerful weapon. I will say that. While Canelo prepares for Crawford, you know what I mean? The world knows, but he kind of is evolving into something new behind closed doors. This forces Canelo to prepare for a ghost almost. So the lockdown is so strict from what I've read that even a respected figure like I think it was Sean Porter getting rare access to the camp becomes news. Adding to the mystery of what's going on over there. You know what I mean? Um, Bernie Davis has said nobody fights like Crawford, highlights his unpredictable style by hiding this new 168-pound version of himself. Crawford is making himself 10 times more unpredictable. This puts all of the pressure pretty much on Canelo, forcing him to waste mental energy on countless what ifs and, you know, turning his own preparation into a guessing game. You know what I mean? So to speak, rather, anyway. The third, obviously, and the most crucial, is protecting the actual game plan. This is the most obvious reason for the lockdown. Against EJ, Crawford unveiled a masterful strategy built on timing and a punishing jab. Now, against Canelo, he needs a completely different plan, right? And it has to be guarded like state secrets. This plan is likely focused on solving a few key problems, right? Like, first, how to deal with Canelo's size and pressure without getting pinned on the ropes. That is going to be super important. Second, he probably needs to work on how to manage the weight gain correctly, avoiding the mistakes others have made by getting big but slow. This means his conditioning plan is definitely a priority. He needs to get this formula that they can't let anyone see. I wonder where he's going to get that. And finally, the plan to counter Canelo's best weapons. Now, Crawford is no doubt, what I'm saying, drilling specific combos and defensive moves to diffuse Canelo's power shots. Letting anyone get even a peek at these preparations would be a disaster, right? Like a 30-second clip from sparring could give away a new defensive move or a go to combination in a fight of this magnitude, or at least the magnitude that they want you to believe that it is. Information is everything, and Crawford is locked, he's locked his away in a vault, so to speak. So when you ask, why did Terrence Crawford ban everyone from his camp? The answer is clear. It's not about fear, it's a calculated move based on what it takes to do the impossible. He has shut his doors to block out distractions and create an environment of strict focus. He has retreated into the shadows to play mind games and basically forcing Canelo to prepare for an enigma. And he's built a fortress to protect his most valuable asset, the secret strategy designed to shock the world. Oh boy. What do you think is the real reason for the closed camp? Is it a brilliant strategy? Or is something else going on? Y'all can start dropping y'all predictions for this fight in the comment section below. And we will get into breakdowns a little bit closer to the fight. I will say this though. I understand why he did what he did, and I get the lock in and prepare for this fight. But I want us to also keep a lot of things in mind, guys, right? Like, I know a lot of his fans have the utmost faith in him and think that he can just do whatever. And maybe he will prove me 100% wrong. But in this particular case, I want to just acknowledge the fact that yes, he is jumping up 2 to 3 weight divisions. He's obviously preparing as if this is a serious event, so good for him. However, Terrence Bud Crawford has been out of the ring for over 300 days. Okay? His last fight with Madrimov was close to a year ago. By the time he gets back in that ring, he will already have had another birthday. So we just have to keep these things in mind and be realistic. Now, I will say my prediction for who I think will win, obviously, as we get closer to the fight as well. But until next time, y'all know what to do. Catch me on a panel.